So this whole section right here is a nice patch of African potato mint. This is going to be 100% propagation material. We've got more than we can eat right now already. So the potatoes that I find in here, I'll plant around in the food forest and other places. And also I'll put some in a pot in a greenhouse so that they come up a little bit early next summer. So far this isn't a great harvest. They tend to grow in little clusters. The bigger ones will get twice the size, at least twice the size of this. We cook them just like we do potatoes. Found that when you boil them, works a little bit better, although they taste a little bit more watered down compared to a regular potato. And we found if you bake them, it takes longer, like almost twice as long to bake them as a regular potato. The taste is similar to a regular potato. Seems to be maybe a little sweeter. Of course, that could depend on the recipe also. Here's a nice little cluster. Oops, I lost it. And of course, I'm leaving some of the smaller ones here so we have another patch next year here. Probably wouldn't be able to avoid it, to be honest. Plant once, grow forever. That's what I'm talking about. Same as that ginger and turmeric. Look at that. Nice mycelium. Jeez. This little patch goes on and on. I think you can sell these plants for like $5 each. Little tiny planter. I literally started with just a couple cuttings and turned that into harvesting thousands of potatoes and spreading this all over my food forest. It's one of the easiest summer crops you can grow. In the summertime, when it's in the rainy season, you can literally just take a cutting, put it in the ground, and it's going to grow. Here's a nice cluster, some bigger ones. That's probably where it started. See, there's bigger ones. Might get, the biggest one I've seen is just a little bit bigger than this. And so when I'm preparing these in the kitchen, I scrub them down with a brush really well, get all the dirt off. And when you're doing that, you'll notice that the skin comes right off. It's a very thin skin. This is one of my favorite things to do, this type of harvesting. I don't know what it is. It's just enjoyable, getting my hands in the dirt. Harvesting these guys, harvesting sweet potatoes, same thing. I want to get enough to start a few pots full of these guys and get a good head start next year. I might try selling these. Yeah, there's a big cluster. Get enough to start quite a few pots in a greenhouse. They'll come up in May, June time frame, a little earlier in the greenhouse than they would if they were out here. And I can start making cuttings right away, give them away and sell them, use them for barter. Let's look over here a little bit more. One way over here. Look at all these potatoes. Look at these potatoes. They're all over the place. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Jeez. This little potato patch was bigger than I thought. All right, I think I reached the end of it. I'll just leave those to come up next year. Beautiful. That's how I like it. All right. African potato mint. To start those potatoes in a pot is pretty easy. Just put a bunch in a pot like that, some soil over it, keep them dry. Then when the temperature starts warming up a little bit, put them in a warm place like a greenhouse or something, and they'll sprout earlier than the ones outside. Then you can start making cuttings, propagating to get a head start.